Hello, how's it going? I'm Mari and I make travel videos, and today I'm going to talk to you about 10 ways to help you stay sane while you're traveling. Now these are tips that I kind of thought of for more long-term backpacking type travel because that's what I do, but they could be very easily well applied to any sort of travel that you do. If you have holiday travel coming up, definitely some of these tips I think will be handy for you to just help you feel good while you're traveling. So when you're traveling, there's a lot of times when you can just feel stressed and burnt out and just kind of like sensory overload and you come across challenges, things don't go as planned, there's just a lot of things that happen that can make you kind of feel less than optimal. So here are just a few tips that can help keep you feeling good. And if you're not subscribed, then just go ahead and subscribe now. Number 1, have some sort of routine. Now I actually, in my day-to-day life, I am not someone who enjoys routines. I don't really like them. Hence why also I love travel. I love being out on the open road because I find it exciting when every day is different. However, even for myself, I find that maintaining some sort of routine while I'm traveling makes me feel so much better. So especially if you're someone that enjoys your routines, this is going to be something that's really good for you. I think one thing that's good is have some sort of morning routine. I know that every day can be different because some days you might have to wake up for a flight or a bus or a train, but I personally make a point, even if I have to wake up early, I will get up even earlier so that I can have a morning routine. My travel morning routine is pretty basic. It mostly just consists of making sure I eat breakfast and having coffee and just taking some time for myself and kind of just going through what I'm going to do that day or taking some time to read a book. For you, it could be some other kind of routine that you want to fit into your day, but for me, having that breakfast and having that time is just a really good way to start the day fresh and just have good energy throughout the day. Number 2 is exercise. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I like running, especially while traveling. I think running is such a cool way to see a city and see stuff that you might not see otherwise. But for you, it doesn't have to be running. I think just keeping some sort of exercise routine while you're traveling can be so good for your well-being. Maybe you're staying at a hotel that has a gym inside. Use the gym, that would be cool. Go swimming. You might want to do yoga or cycling, or even just taking time to do stretching every day. And I do feel like when you're traveling, there's always good opportunities to just walk everywhere and do a lot of walking, so that's good exercise, but kind of just making sure you keep your body moving. And I find especially when you're traveling with other people, if you're someone that needs kind of some alone time to recharge, for me, going out for a run is just so good. And some of the most magical travel moments I've had are just on these solo runs. Exercise will help give you those endorphins that you need to just keep feeling happy and motivated and just keep going. Number 3 is stay connected to home. So this is especially good if you're doing backpacking or long-term travel, but even on those shorter trips, it's just good to remember that the internet makes it so easy now to stay connected with your family and your friends back home. There's emails, messages. You can do free video calling, you can do free voice calling through apps like WhatsApp or even Facebook Messenger. There's just so many ways to keep in touch now for free through the internet. So there's really no excuse not to. The main challenge sometimes is just figuring out the time zone differences and what time is good to call. Once you figure that out, it's not too bad. So if you're feeling homesick or lonely or anything, just pick up your phone and call someone that you know, and that can make all the difference. Number 4, be your best self. So when you're traveling, especially solo traveling, I think what's really cool about it is that you can be whoever you want to be. Nobody has preconceived notions of who you are, so you can really be your best self and do the things that you feel best about and that really speak to you. So instead of just trying to go with the crowd or do what everyone else is doing or do what you think you should be doing or what people would expect you to be doing, do what you want to do. So don't push yourself to be uncharacteristic of who you are just because other people are doing it. Be your best self and know that sometimes you're not gonna want to do the same thing as other people, and that's okay. Use it as a time to really figure out yourself and who you are and, embrace those things that you really like to do. Number 5, this kind of goes along with the last one, but know your limits. So for myself, I'm an introvert. I did a whole video on that. So I really need to take time for myself, especially if I'm traveling with people. I just know that I do need to make time for myself, and that's really going to help my overall well-being. Just know for yourself your limits. Some people can spend all day sightseeing and doing all this stuff, and that's totally fine for them. But you might not like that. You might not be able to do that. It might be too much. Don't be harsh on yourself. Don't compare yourself to what other people are doing. Just know for yourself like what you can honestly handle. When you first start traveling, you might not know what your limits are, but if you listen to yourself and try to figure out the things that are making you happy versus the things that make you irritated, just learn what you need for yourself to make yourself overall like a happy traveler. Number 6, make sure to get enough sleep. Traveling can be very tiring, walking around all day, seeing all these sights, doing all this stuff, meeting all these people. But if you're getting a good night's sleep every night, it can make so much difference in your general well-being. I feel like sleeping can be hard for some people while traveling, because especially if you're staying somewhere new for your night, or especially if you're staying in hostels with other people in a dorm. Some things you can do: wear earplugs, noise canceling headphones. I haven't used them, but I've heard good things. If you are a budget traveler and you're staying in a lot of dorms, once in a while, treat yourself to a private room and just get a really good, nice sleep, and you'll be so thankful, and that will kind of give you enough energy to like keep going. Also, I find like taking naps can be really good. If you're on trains, planes, buses, great times for naps. You can bring an eye mask, that might help you. I feel like just even a 20-minute lay down in the afternoon can just give you that much energy for the rest of the night. Number 7, it's okay to indulge in comfort foods. Why I say it's okay is that I feel like sometimes when you're traveling, you're like, oh yeah, I really gotta try all the local foods, and you know, I should just make sure I'm eating what's local. But if you're traveling for a long time, I feel like after a while you might get kind of tired of the food where you are, or you might just really miss something from home. And that's okay. And if it's gonna make you feel better and be an overall better person, you know, indulge in that hamburger or the pizza or whatever you want to eat that's your like comfort food. So if you stay somewhere with a kitchen, like a hostel or an Airbnb, then make yourself a nice like a home-cooked meal. That can also feel really good, just eating kind of something that's like you made and like it's like something that you would eat at home. Sometimes food can make all the difference, just eating something that makes you just like feel like, ah. Number 8, have something to do besides travel, something bigger than just travel. For example, when I travel, I make YouTube videos, and that keeps me very occupied, and it gives me kind of a focus and something that I'm working on, and it makes me feel like, I don't know, like I have a purpose when I'm traveling. I think this is especially a good one for longer term travel in particular. On a short trip, sometimes it's really nice to do nothing. So like if you're just doing a short trip, like don't worry about it. But on a longer trip, I think it is nice to have something else going on. But it could also just be something like journaling, so making sure you write in a journal every day. That kind of thing as well. You're going to be thankful that you've done it later, just so you can look back and look at all of your memories. You could be trying to learn a new hobby or a new language, or I don't know, something else that you're doing along the way, or giving you like another focus or another challenge. I think that's really nice, and it will keep you excited about the travel so you don't get burnt out on the actual travel aspect of travel. Number 9 is indulge in media. Listening to music or podcasts or reading books, or even just sitting down to like watch TV or a movie can be so comforting when you're traveling. For me, especially if I'm on like a long bus ride, listening to music that I really like always makes me feel good. Or just remembering to read a little bit of a book every day can be really nice. Also, when you're traveling for a long period of time, I feel like most of the time you're not like sitting around watching TV or movies, but if you do it once in a while, it feels so luxurious and it feels really nice, and it's just like, oh yes. If you don't want to just stay in your hotel room or wherever and like watch something, I think a cool thing to do while you're traveling is go out and see a movie somewhere. You can make it a whole experience, like look for the coolest movie theater in the area, you know, like one that's really old and like has all these cool features. Or sometimes it can be really exciting to go see a movie in a different language as long as it has subtitles. Or sometimes they like to dub over English movies with their language, and then hopefully they have subtitles. Going out to a movie in a different place is a really cool way to experience different cultures. Everyone does movies kind of the same, but also different, you know? And number 10, I think this is the most important thing that will help keep you sane while you're traveling, is just as much as you can, try to stay positive. You know, just adjust your thoughts and don't let the small things get you down. Because when you're traveling, it's inevitable. Things are going to annoy you. Things are going to go wrong. There's going to be so many things that come up. And you have a choice though. You can either really let those things get to you and get really like agitated and irritated, and they're just going to build up and you're just going to get more upset every time. Or you can just learn to roll with the punches and just like accept things for what they are and try to have optimistic outlooks. It's not always easy, but a lot of these things are outside of your control. So if your flight is canceled, like that's not in your control. Focus on the things that you can control. So how do you get a next flight? What are you going to do now? Remember that you're in a really awesome place, you're traveling, you're doing something you always wanted to do. These things happen, just don't let them get you down. And you know, like things always seem to work out even when they go wrong. Try to keep an open mind and try to be positive, and I feel like that can go a long way in just your overall well-being. So I hope that these tips were helpful for you, and I hope you all enjoy your travels and your trips and whatever you're doing in your holiday travels. And if you have any good tips, then leave it in the comments below. Everyone will appreciate it. And again, subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!